There are only two types of katana mains in this game, right? You're either a player who uses her with like Movado and Jax, and off of her down forward 2, you're getting 40 plus every touch. That's how I play her. Or, more likely, you're a premier zoner, you spend more time at full screen than you do at a full-time job, and you start every game with a backdash just to start throwing fans, with Kung Lao cameo and Sub-Zero cameo. That's more likely who you are. You're a big damage enjoyer, but you're also a fucking crackhead. You will literally let ball roll rip at any distance. It could be full screen where it's gonna whiff, it could be point blank where they're clearly blocking. You don't give a fuck, because if it hits them, you're deleting almost half of their health, so it really doesn't make a difference to you. You're a maniac, and you also love spamming her brain dead 50-50s that seem like they do no damage, but that shit adds up. After you've gotten hit with like the 5th one in a row, you're at literally less than half health. So yeah, you're a crackhead. Maniac. I am still convinced you may no longer exist, but the few times I have run into you, you're a pretty solid player. Really nothing else to say about this character, honestly. No one mains this character. Let's be honest, you play this character because of Sonic Fox. Nobody was playing Rain in the early bits of the life cycle for MK1 so far. Then Sonic Fox started decimating pro competition tournaments, and now Rain is everywhere. To be fair though, even though you are just a flat out copycat, every time I run into you, you are a pretty good player with nice execution, I can't lie. Remember what I said about Melina players being crackheads? Well, this right here is the premier crackhead. Most of you guys have no idea if the bullshit you're doing is real or if it's gonna work. You're just like, fuck it overhead, fuck it low. You genuinely don't care. You are the definition of YOLO in MK1, quite literally. When you run into a smoke main that's good with the cancels most of the time, they seem like they got a little bit of an IQ, but the majority of you have no idea what's going on. Most people have the wrong opinion of you, but you also have the wrong opinion of your character. Let me explain. So you'll get called a scrub for using this character in this game just because of his reputation in the last few games, but Scorpion honestly isn't that good in this game. He still isn't. However, he's not trash. He's just very cameo dependent, and I would say with Pharah, he's actually a really good character. So this is probably the most controversial character in this game in my opinion, because you'll have a lot of people say he's scrubby, you have a lot of people say that he's trash. I don't know. You're pretty elusive, no pun intended. Ever since release, you've wanted some meaningful buffs for your favorite green ninja, and now that he's finally got them, you still can't help but feel like he needs to be buffed. But honestly, in my eyes, you guys are an endangered species. Pun intended. You confuse me. Let me get into this. So, in my opinion, you're playing quite literally the scrubbiest character in the game, but on the other hand, you will fight tooth and nail to argue that he is the worst character in the game, and to some degree, I agree with that, but you can't take away the fact that this character is so autopilot and takes no brain cells to operate. I mean, just go fight a really good Sub-Zero player. It is so fucking frustrating because he's quite literally just brain dead 50-50s, and there's cameos that make it safe. So you can argue he's weak, but you're still a scrub. Now, this may come off as a little bit biased because I do main this character, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to be as objective as possible. Trust me. If you're a Li Mei main, you are quite literally the most underrated player, and the reason for that is because she is a bit of a struggle character. She's not popular at all, so most people aren't ready to fight you. But when you lose, it's mostly because she has very obvious and glaring weaknesses, like her reach is not that good, opening people up is a bitch with her, so she's a bit of a struggle character. But when you finally get that opening, you drop a nuclear bomb on their health bar, and it is so satisfying. Ever since they gave her that mid string as well, you've been dominating online. And by you, I mean me. You are the most carried fucking player in the game. You can sit here and say, oh, his execution. Fuck your execution. You are so carried. If he's so difficult to play, why was I able to pull this combo off second try, bro? He's not hard to use, okay? You're just fucking carried. Accept it. You are the most carried player in the fucking game. But you look cool while doing it, I gotta admit. If falling from grace was a person, it would be you. And honestly, it's fully deserved. This character was so damn brain dead when this game first came out. This man ran online in this game. And you probably missed the glory days of doing almost 60% with no effort. And if you do, you're part of the problem. You're probably more mad about how NRS did your main character than he is about, well, life, I guess. Yeah, stay where you are. You deserve it.
The BBC.
The BBC. The BBC. The BBC. The BBC. The BBC. The BBC. The BBC.
You already know what time it is.
You are a very skilled, high execution player that enjoys cutscenes. There's really nothing more to say. You're genuinely so happy that most people don't complain about the fact that the moment you put your axe down, you become one of the most broken characters in the game. And you're hoping it stays that way. Wow. You're a pretty good player. You know that she's low-key broken and has the best hard-to-blockables in the game, but we won't talk about that. You probably low-key got a thing for MILFs too. You live and die by the scoop, and you will do it every fucking time. Despite maining this character, you're also confused why a grappler has the best projectile in the game, but fuck it, you'll take it. Do I even need to say anything about this baby-faced bitch? Behind Kenshi, you are the second most carried player in the game. Congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back. The way that you play is quite literally the reason most people hate the gameplay in this game. The whole string into a special into Kano knife, yeah, you're the premier player that loves to do that. And I hear you saying, well, what if I don't use Kano? Then you use Serena, so you're still a scrub. You like to keep things pretty simple, and there's nothing wrong with that. You likely played Liu Kang in MK11 and used to hope like, damn, I wish this man had some bigger combos. And in this game, he's pretty much MK11 Liu Kang, but with bigger combos, right? You'll never get caught saying that your character is weak because you acknowledge he pretty much has minimal weaknesses. I mean, he has 2 great projectiles, great combo damage, great damage without a cameo. He has meterless damage. I mean, he's a pretty good character, and you're probably a solid player. You are a tier whore. Let me explain. Now, a couple months back, if you asked me, are Johnny Cage players carried? I would have said yeah. But since the nerfs to Johnny and the nerfs to Chameleon, I think he actually does have to work maybe 1% harder than he used to. So you're not exactly carried, but let's be honest, you're using this character because he's one of, if not the strongest character in the game. The people who are using Johnny Cage because they genuinely like the character are in the minority. And just admit it, man, there's nothing wrong with wanting to play a character that's powerful. Just stop lying about it. If you ain't snorting a couple of lines before every match, then I'll be damned. You are quite literally if throwing caution to the wind was personified. It also feels like you have 20 bars of meter every game because you're just constantly throwing out that safe armor into Goro, into Movado, whatever it is. You'll randomly dive kick in the neutral when it's clearly gonna get punished. Doing overhead into kick, you're just a crazy person, bro. You are quite literally a crackhead. Get help. You are in the same camp as us Lee May mains. Highly overlooked, highly dangerous. You're the only player in the game who's allowed to use Serena cameo and not get called a scrub. I don't know what's up with that. And also, every single time you get knocked down, you wake up armor. You know you do. You're in the running for bottom 2 worst characters in the game, so clap it up for yourself for playing this character. You likely really enjoy these buffs she recently got, so you're just spamming out dive kicks like a cracked out Kung Lao. In fact, you probably snort just as much coke as a Kung Lao player, now that I think about it. You probably really like her damage, but really hate her health because it limits the cameos you can use. Wow, you're a weirdo. You definitely played the 3D era games, and when you saw that Havoc was coming back, you knew you were gonna play this character, right? Despite the fact that he's not that strong, you're like, I'm gonna make this character work no matter what. Even if I gotta spend 2 bars to do a 23% combo, I'm gonna do that. You're probably asking for buffs on Twitter. I hate you. I mean, I hate Quan Chi as a character, but I hate you more for playing him. You're annoying, and you know you're annoying. Your entire gameplay model is random bullshit go. You do way more damage to people on block than you do on hit because you sit full screen throwing skulls all game and putting down cages. The combos you perform make you seem a lot more skilled than you actually are. I'm not saying you suck, that's just objectively true. You're probably a lab monster now. When you first picked this character up, you were doing the same baby combos that were doing like 34% as the rest of us. Then you watched high level players play the game and realized you could get the Superman fly from the ground and became an absolute lab monster. Also, there's no way you're maining this guy and didn't watch Invincible. If you're playing Peacemaker after the nerfs, then congratulations, you actually genuinely enjoy playing this character. You actually like this guy. Give yourself a pat on the back for that one. Unlike the people before who were just getting a warm, vibrating sensation in the seat of their pants whenever Sonic Fox posts a tier list, you probably played this character and actually fucked with his gameplay. It's 50-50 on if you've seen the show, but 100% you've made a John Cena joke. You definitely watch The Boys. I mean, there's no way you don't. I could understand if someone played Omni-Man because they'd maybe just seen him in passing or whatever, but Homelander isn't exactly as popular as Omni-Man is, right? So you're a fan of The Boys, and you also have carpal tunnel from just doing a simple B&B because you have to press 500,000 buttons to do a simple 35% combo with this character. Go you. You have a very big brain. You're also really annoying to fight, but we won't talk about that. You understand that there's hidden potential with this character that most players won't reach because they don't want to sit there and lab this guy because his execution is pretty high. That's why you're smoking people online with all these cancels. Half of them probably aren't even real. Would I know? No, because I'm too stupid to play this character. So you do you. There are only 3 reasons you'd be playing this character. Number 1, because he's the most recent character added to the game. Number 2, because you're an old MKX player who's been waiting for him to come back. Or number 3, because you're seeing all these videos of people doing ridiculous damage combos with him, and you acknowledge he has the coolest looking combos in the game, so you're like, fuck it, I'll give this guy a try.